Welcome to POV of a Mommy and Iced Coffee, a spin-off of our Cute Mama Shop. In this vlog, we're going to follow our pop-up at Clovis Fest 2024. It was, of course, last season, but I wanted to really show you guys a behind the scenes of what goes on at the pop-ups, because a lot of times all you see is what I share on my feed. It's like what you're seeing right here, our setup. You'll see just a lot of content, what we're carrying with us at that particular pop-up, vendors, all the different things that anyone who would go to a pop-up would usually see, but you don't see like the teardown, the breaks, talking to customers, maybe what we do before the market, which you're going to see right after this. Just a lot of behind the scenes that I was really excited to share with you. I've got a ton of footage from my market season, and we're gathering more this season as well, so I'm excited to share. We are fast forwarding all the way to day 2. I completely skipped recording our setup, which actually takes place as early as 4 a.m. on Saturday. It's dark, it's a little wild. All the vendors are trying to fit down the walkway with our vehicles, our trailers, and everyone's just trying to get set up in the cold and the dark. So my camera didn't make it out. This is what my husband and I do before a market. We usually will go get snacks. In this case, the gas station's right down the street. Cup of Joy was closed today because it's Sunday, but we did start Saturday off with Cup of Joy, of course. Here's what all the vendors look like before the event even starts. Some show up early to get things prepped, and some sleep in and come right when it begins. Here's just a calm walkthrough to get the vibe, and then we're going to go ahead and speed through it and over to our booth. As mentioned prior, you can show up whenever you want, as long as you're ready to sell your merch when the crowd arrives. It is typical of Clovis Fest crowds, as well as Big Hat Day crowds, to show up early, because for this particular event, it was a hot air balloon event. All the families show up for the hot air balloons before the market starts. So as soon as those hot air balloons go down, even though the market isn't set to say open until 10 a.m., you're gonna get a crowd earlier than that, an hour, sometimes an hour and a half earlier. So it's important to be ready to sell, show up early, be ready. That's why coffee is so important. So the walls that we just tore down, I got those off Amazon. I can link them for you down below. We use them whenever we are at overnight markets, so we can leave our entire setup, and we usually obviously only do this when there's security provided. So day 2 is definitely a much easier day setup wise than day 1. You're not pulling everything out of tubs, getting pricing out, making sure everything's like perfect. This is just a quick cleanup, and then you get to enjoy friends, enjoy the hot air balloons, enjoy snack runs, and wait for the crowd. Much like setup, our first rush had little to no camera time. It came and went and left us starving. It is so important to eat at events. If you're a current vendor, you know this, and if you're a new vendor looking to looking for some tips on what the most important things to know are before you start events, I would say make sure you eat. If you don't, you can totally mentally check out, and it affects your customer service, affects your entire day. So make time for food. If you don't pack snacks, make sure to support your local vendors and go grab some.
Hi.
Okay.
Your setup is so cute.
I love interacting with my customers. I love standing behind our checkout stand and overhearing the different items in our shop that you relate with. We are a mama shop. If you've never shopped with us before, we're a mama shop. I carry a lot of mom humor, a lot of relatable mom humor, a lot of just really reminders for moms that you're doing a great job. That's the heart and soul behind what our shop is. And it's so funny, and I love just hearing what everyone pulls to, because we've got a good variety of laughs when you come visit us. If you are someone who's here because you're new to pop-ups or thinking of going to pop-ups, but you really need that extra push of confidence to get you there, maybe you feel like you're not a people person, maybe, you're not like, customer service just isn't your thing, or so you've thought. I used to work in customer service, and this is nothing like it. It's nothing like it at all. I was a waitress for like 6 years, and I loved it. I made some great friends and met amazing people through serving them. Also, there were some not so nice people. I fortunately haven't experienced that yet in the nearly 2 years of work we've been doing with the shop. But the community that jumping into pop-ups is going to connect you with is just another level. And I just think just do it. Your confidence is going to come, and when you end up in this creative space, you're just going to feel like you belong there, because you do, and you're going to do just fine.
Nice seeing you, man. Take care.
Bye. Good to see you. Happy shopping. Okay, so Clovis Fest is a super high traffic market. It's not your average, pop-up. Nothing against pop-ups. I love them. I do them all the time. But every pop-up is different, and Clovis Fest it's going to bring you extremely high foot traffic. But even in markets that are definitely way pricier, like this one, that guarantee a higher foot traffic, there are still slow moments. So this is what I'm doing during my slow moment. It was almost the end of day 2. Day 2 is a Sunday, and nobody was really, it was dying down. It was really dying down, and what I do at that time during markets is I turn to my Instagram orders. So I'll put out content in the morning or just before the start of a market, and that often brings in Instagram orders that I can tend to when it's slow. So in this case, the market died down. I was able to get to my Instagram orders, and that's what I'm doing here. I am personally very particular with how I prepare my orders for customers, not only online orders that you have more time to prep, but also market orders. So like you see here, I will pull your garment down, I lint roll, trim up any threads that I think look off on your garment, and presentations, everything. So I'm gonna make sure that looks super cute before I bag it up. And what you're seeing here is actually me getting content after I prepped for this customer. So that's just another tip. Again, if you're looking at how to go about markets, I think that the heart you put into preparing your merch for your customer is just as important as making a sale or presenting it to them. Or it's so important, because it's that feeling and that experience that you give them is everything. Like setup, I did not get any footage of teardown aside from what you just saw. I I realize that that's a very important part of pop-ups, and I'm definitely going to highlight it in a future video because we've got plenty of setup and teardown footage from other markets. I can go over timing with you. It took about, I believe it takes us an hour to set up our shell, and it takes, I'd say, another hour comfortably. I am very comfortable with the 2-hour setup. Comfortably to set up everything and be prepared and ready for customers after that. Teardown, we've got it down to 30 minutes, and then I believe loading the truck like this, it takes another probably 45 minutes. So a comfortable setup's about 2 hours for me. I can definitely do it. We do this as a team in an hour. I'm a little frazzled at the end, but we can get it done. And teardown, we've got it down to about 45 minutes. And yeah, then we're ready to go home, but I will definitely highlight a setup and teardown in a future video. I really had the goal of keeping certain segments at regular speed so you could really get a feel for how long things take and just the different segments of the market in general versus, you're there as a, customer, spectator, you're there to enjoy the market, and you are usually there when there's a ton of people, so it seems like it's always this fast-paced thing, and the truth is it's really not. The beginning is hectic and in the dark, and the end is, I would say, just as hectic with a very calm vibe that I really wanted to portray in letting this piece play out in real time, but it was just way too long to keep on here, so I sped this up to 1,000, and I think that now, since I've gone over that accidental time lapse with my camera, that I'll be able to time lapse the next one. But I really wanted this particular part of the market to give you a feel, especially if you are considering starting markets or you just like market videos in general. Just give you a feel of how long this takes and how much work really goes into popping up somewhere. Something that I think is super important packing-wise is making sure that all of your tubs coordinate, because all too often your tubs are left out for market attendees to see out in the open, so I think that coordination is really important. So I'll do a future video where I link all of my market essentials and you can find out where I got mine. Another thing that it's important to remember is everything is content in the small business world, so even this teardown is content, so that's what I'm about to do right there, is just get some just in case footage to have in my camera of setups and just the teardown, that where you stick your finger out and you snap and it changes to something totally different. Like, I have a folder where I have all of the just in case content for my events, and then if I don't need it, okay, great, I don't need it, but if I do need it, I have it, and that is very helpful, especially when you are not feeling creative and you need something to put together social media wise. We've reached the end of our Clovis Fest pop-up video. I hope you enjoyed following us through what it's like to pop up behind the scenes. We've got a ton more pop-up videos coming, creative content, community, and just all around events and fun things to share. So if you liked what you saw, consider sticking around, and we'll see you soon.
Let's go.